I will beat your behind, child. I swear. And you two, y'all, you two, you better shut up too or you'll get the same thing.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and ladies and gents, got some people asking who is Redress Right? Well, first things first, doesn't matter who he is, where he came from, how he got there, where he been, it ain't about him. This is about information and getting people the information they want. Now, if you pay attention while I'm doing all of that talking for more than an hour in most of the videos, you'll get to see who I am. You'll also get to see that I'm a man of my word. I didn't choose the calling myself Redress Right. Many of you did that. You see, what I did is I logged on to Skype as Redress Right. You see the redressright.org symbol. Whenever you see one of my videos, you'll see it someplace. And so people decided to call me Redress Right. Not only do I put my name and contact information on the net, but it bothers me that people want to know who I am when I don't know who they are. Does that make any sense to any of you? Now, before I go on, I'm going to tell you about this nice little site. Known about this guy for at least 5 years. He's h33t.com. You'll see it on most of the torrents that you may or may not download, h33t. Now, he has a reputation as well of not providing anything that has a virus. If it has a virus, he won't provide it. And I like that. Now, sometimes people will put his name out there and they'll put viruses and things to try to ruin his reputation, but that's why I go to his site. Once again, h33t.com. Now, I am not a fan. I am not advertising for him. He and I do not have an agreement. We're not in partnership together. But many people have been trying to figure out, where do I go? Because BT Junkie is gone. Mega Upload is gone, and they're crying. Okay? So H33T, as you can see, as of the 8th of March 2012, is sitting right here. He's not going nowhere. Okay. Now, what am I doing? Well, the location that I am has blocked the downloading of his torrents at their location. So what I'm doing is I'm basically copying the title and then pasting it into Vooz. If you want to know how to acquire Vooz, go to Vooz.com. If you want to know how to acquire the Vooz torrents, they're templates. And you just basically have to go to Vooz. And when you go to Vooz, once you load it up on your system, you have to go to Meta Search. And then type in the search bar, Vooz templates. Let's do that right now, shall we? V-U, sometimes I don't know if it's a Z or an S, but Vooz, L-E-T-S. And then we hit enter, or we click on the search button. Then there's going to be a bunch of things that's going to come up because Vooz is a pretty popular program that allows you to download torrents. Now my hope is that, it couldn't have stopped just there. Let's do it this way because I don't think it liked templates in Vooz. Used to be able to type this in BT Junkie, but it didn't work. So if it doesn't work here, then you're going to have to type it in the Google search. But let's see if it pulls it up. 6 results. Not what I'm looking for. Vooz search templates. Let's click on the word to see what we're getting. I already have all 17 of the ones that I need, but just in case you might need anything. Okay, let's go down to the section for comments. There they go right there. These are the Vooz templates that are included. I hope BT Junkie is not one of them. See, and you got H33T being one of them. Then you got BT Junkie, which doesn't exist anymore. I wish they would have allowed someone else to take over the name and the site. That way people can still have access to what they want. When you download the Vooz templates, you're going to double click on each one so that you can load it in Vooz. When you load it in Vooz, this is what you're going to get. See all of these sites right here? Vooz literally searches each one of these sites, including H33T, for whatever program you're looking for. So, because this site is blocking it, I can do an in and around. Now, most of you who watch those interesting sports know what an in and around is. It's a football issue. Now, let's see. I think I've gotten everything I want. And basically, you see, 243,604 different places I could download stuff from him. Okay, it's 50 a page, so I'm going through the list of everything that's current. Why? Because I'm trying to catch up with the Joneses. If all of the Joneses have it, I want to have it. I need to have everything that everybody else has. Just kidding. Now, getting back, somebody said, your video, your audio is too low. I can't hear you. Well, sometimes I'm actually doing my videos while I'm at a library in an area where there is an allowance for talking, but I don't want to be too loud. I don't want everybody else listening. I want you guys to get it first. Now, getting back to that, people wanting to know who is redressright.org. Redressright.org was an idea that came to me in roughly 1997, 1996. I saw that so many people were being done wrong, especially by the system. Now, although I know a little bit about the law, I didn't know enough. So what did I need to do? Sorry, I saw Windows 8. But anyway, what did I need to do? I needed to figure out a way to help everybody. But I couldn't help everybody without doing my research first. You see, you have to help yourself first before you can help that other person down the street. Sorry, I got Skype running in the background, but I am invisible. Alright, let's get back to explaining to you about Redress Right, the site. Redress Right does exactly what the word says. So let's do some research, shall we? Let's minimize this. Oh, sorry, I minimized the wrong thing. Let's open this back up and let's cover the whole screen. Now see, that's why I had it covered, because of that. So I apologize. I do not like the exploitation of women. I cannot stand women being exploited, especially for sex or any other reason. I think that it is juvenile, ignorant, and stupid. Not saying this because I want to be PC. I'm saying this because that's what I've always believed, and do not tolerate and do not allow it. So let's type in the word redress. And I'm sorry, thanks to many of you, my hope is that Redress Right won't be one of the, oh, forgot the E. My hope is that Redress Right won't be one of the main sites that pop up, because it shouldn't be. Redress, remedy. Now, I like the fact that it puts remedy up there with the definition. I don't know what site it is yet until I take a look, but here it says it's a verb. Remedy or set right an undesirable and unfair situation. The power to redress the grievances of our citizens. This is a First Amendment right. The right of the people to petition the government for redress of grievance. Most people do not know they have the right to grieve or complain, but I do. I know that it is a First Amendment right where it says Congress shall make no law. Then we got another Merriam-Webster dictionary, and it says, hey, look at that. There's a redress.org. It is not the same as redressright.org. That's why I had to choose Redress Right, because someone already had redress.org. So I wasn't the first to come up with the idea for having a site that dealt strictly with redress. You have a redress.com or .co up there. So redressright.org is not one of the first. I'm not that popular yet. One day we's gonna be popular. Alright, let's get back to what am I looking for else about redress. What we wanted to do was we wanted to come up with a company that was going to help people. That was the main premise and idea. Not take advantage of people, because people have been taken advantage of for years. So we didn't want to do what everybody else was doing. Now, notice what we're doing here. PAY to the United of paid to the order of the United States of America, period. Then we have without recourse. And we close close quote. Try saying that 8 times fast. Close quote. Yes, you talk about a tongue twister. Now, forward promissory note or bond. Now, do you see it says forms.sc.egov, electronic gov, .usda.gov /EF common, COMMON, /e-file services. Okay, now we're not going to give you the whole address. All you got to do is type it in. But as we told you the other day, nobody was talking about pay to the order of the United States of America without recourse. Why? Because you weren't supposed to know about this. You weren't supposed to know about this, but notice when you do type it up in Google, what we're finding is of the top 3 top searches, you have redressright.org. Now, why hasn't anybody else been talking to you about this? Well, what I did is I sent this law right here. This is Codified Federal Regulations, Title 7, Agriculture. Okay, what I did is I copied the top text right here showing that this is Part 1901, and we're going to make it a little bit larger so that you can see what we can see. So it's Part 1901, Program Related Instructions. Now, what most of you don't know, and you can Google this if you want to, but 1901 and the agricultural section of law, everything is agriculture. Now let's find out what 1901 talks about. This subpart prescribes policies and procedures for Farmers Home Administration, FMHA, or its successor agency under Public Law 103-354. Okay, so it's letting you know that this falls under public law, which applies to all of us. Certificates of beneficial ownership and insured notes. Well, people are asking, what is an insured note? It's your promissory note. This subpart is inapplicable to Farm Service Agency Farm Loan Program. So it doesn't apply to farms, but it's called the Farmer Homes Administration. This is so that you know that what they're talking about here is you and your property. Everything is agriculture. You know how people would say everything is contract? Well, I'm going to add to that. Everything is agriculture. You are agriculture, your property is agriculture, your farm is agriculture, your house is agriculture. Rural Development Insurance Fund. Agricultural Credit Insurance Fund. How do you think, under the Bankruptcy Act of 1933, they were allowed to mortgage homes? Remember, whenever you buy a home, there must be insurance. And there has to be an insurance endorsement. So we're going to find out what an insurance endorsement is and who's required to do it. Now you notice here, sorry, I got to get our page to straighten up. Let's go down a little bit more and see if it'll straighten up for us. Oh, okay, I see that's not a straighten up thing, it just repeats itself. The current owner of an insured note other than the Farmers Home Association, let me make sure that I'm saying that right, because I don't usually say it says that stands for Farmers Home Administration, not association. So Farmers Home Administration. Let's see. I gotta get back to where we were. Okay. insurance contract, insured notes held by investors and owners. Let's get back to where we were before I lost you. Insured notes. Any promissory note or bond evidencing an insured loan, regardless of whether it is held by the Farmers Home Administration or a successor agency under public law, and the insurance fund by a private holder or the Farmers Home Administration or successor under Public Law 103 3-514. Now, notice what it says about loans. The administrator or other authorized officer of the Farmer's Home, oh, that's office. We're supposed to be up a little, it flipped. Loans made are held by the Agricultural Credit Insurance Fund, Rural Development Insurance Fund, or Rural Housing Insurance Fund. You're going to find out that most of your insurance companies for your homes are registered under one of these agencies. Okay? The administrator or other authorized officer of the Farmer's Home Administration or its successor agency under public law. You're going to find that most mortgages fall within that preview. Par value, the total amount to which the insured holder is entitled under the terms of the insurance agreement. People, this means the entire amount of the original loan, because the insurance agreement is the mortgage. Now, let's go down. It says Reserve Bank. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York or any other Federal Reserve Bank which agrees to issue securities in book entry forms. Where have you heard that before? Book entry. As fiscal agents of the United States acting in behalf of the Farmers Home Administration or its successor agencies under public law. Please understand, the Federal Reserve Bank, okay, has already agreed to issue securities to these banks so that they receive credit in their books. All right. Basically, this is where all your property is held, under this agency. Now, we're not even concerned about book entries, so take a look. Our successor agency securities, Farmers Home, our successor agency security in the form of an entry made as prescribed in subpart, this subpart, on the record of the Reserve Bank. That's why they send your note to the Federal Reserve Bank saying, pay to the order of whatever bank it is, and they receive funding. Now remember we told you that member banks are any national bank, state bank, or trust company which is a member of the Reserve Bank. Mortgages and trust companies. Isn't your mortgage placed through a trust company? Is it not placed through a national bank, a state bank, or a regular bank? And aren't all banks in this country members of the Federal Reserve Banks? So let's go down and see if this applies to you, because people are trying to figure out, how did he pay off that mortgage? Did he do anything special? Hey, have they told him that the funds have been reversed? Well, first, let's make sure we give you an understanding. The letter was dated February 22nd. So, February 22nd to the 9th is how many days? Or to the 29th is how many days? 7. Okay. Now, 7 plus 8 is what? 15. There has been no notices received invalidating the payment of the home. Did the EFTs work? No. Did the international money order work? No. Did the bailment bond work? No. Did the $1 bill work? No. Each of those items were just added. I was just playing a game with the system. So in our ultimate mortgage update, we're going to let you know exactly what has worked and why it worked. We're going to skip all of this. Although it is important, it's not relevant for this conversation right now. So give me 1 second to get to the good part. Like I told you, the song was, when we're going to get to the good part. So we're about to get to the good part. I'm looking for, I think it's I. If not, I'm going to have to go up and find it. Payment of final issue interest will be made to the registered owner of record on the date the books were closed. We are supposed to be getting the interest, so the people who was doing the OIDs, they were absolutely correct. And a lot of people have not understood that. Payment of final interest will be made to the registered owner of record on the date the books were closed. Payment of principal will be made to the assignee under the proper assignment of the certificate. But I'm looking for I, and I don't know where it is on this page because I made it larger. Let's get rid of this person. We'll be back to you, young lady. Alright. Now, basically what I did yesterday is I sent a copy of this law to quite a few people, and people were trying to figure out why I sent it to them. So let me make sure, as soon as I find it, I will show it to you all. Everybody at the same time, so everybody's on the same page, and I probably have already skipped it. So I gotta make it smaller so that I can find it quicker. Let's go back up because it shouldn't be that far down. Nope, shouldn't be this far down. It should be, I don't know how I could have missed it. So let's scroll down slowly. I'm looking for the phrase paid to the order of the United States of America without recourse. And I shouldn't be having this much of a hard time finding it because I know where it is. Been to it so many times. I've shown it to all of you so many times, but it becomes necessary. I'm going to pause you while I find it so I don't have to keep all of you on hold. Uno momento. No, I can't find what I'm looking for because I'm on the wrong page, but take a look at this. Form FMHA or its successor agency, Public Law 103-5 or 354 471-7. Notice an acknowledgement of sale of insured or guarantee loan. Acknowledgement. Where have you heard that before? Was it not Rob Ryder who brought that you needed to have the mortgage acknowledged? Now let's take a look at, this is going to be under sections so that you'll find it quicker. 5, and it is I. It shouldn't be I, but it is I. See, it is I. 5I. Let's make this a little bit larger so all you can see. And let's see what it says. It speaks as to the holder in due course. Well, you are the holder of the note. I know it doesn't seem like that because you think all you have is a copy. Let's find out. Let's make sure that you are the holder in due course. Assignment of insured note to the FMHA or its successor agency under public law. Assignment at request of the holder for assignment of an insured note to the Farmers Home Administration or a successor agency under public law 103-354 during option period at the request of the holder. The following procedure will apply. The word will is just like the word shall. It makes it mandatory. The holder will endorse the insured note as follows. Quotation, paid to the order of the United States of America without recourse. The holder will then deliver the insured note, promissory note, people, together with the insurance agreement. That's right, the insurance agreement. What is it? The mortgage note, to the director or finance office. Who is the finance office of the Farmers Home Administration? Is it not the Federal Reserve Bank or the U.S. Treasurer? You don't believe me? Notice that the finance office for the United States and the Farmers Home Administration is a administrative body of the United States. The accountant or finance office for the administrative body of the United States is the United States Treasury. Let's prove this, okay? On receipt of the endorsed note, with the accompanying insurance agreement, the Director of Finance Office will acknowledge receipt of the note and process payment to the assigner of the par value of the note as of the date of the Treasury check. Imagine that. Treasury checks does not come from any place else other than the U.S. Treasury. The house cannot be paid for without it being received by the finance office. So we address our promissory notes to the United States Treasury Chief Financial Officer. And we address it, we just put paid to the order of the United States of America without recourse. We put our signature in a diagonal line, 45-degree angle, and underneath we put administrator and the date. And that was it. That's how the mortgage got paid off, because of looking up these laws. Now, this is not the only law. I know some of you are thinking that's the only law, but it is not. We have to go back a couple of steps. Got to go back twice to this page. We don't need this document because that's redressright.org. That's redressright.org. We need this right here. So I guess we're going to call this the Ultimate Mortgage and A for V update, okay? Now notice this. Notice of acknowledgement of final payment. We're going to send this along with our mortgages from now on. Now pay attention. Treasury check. Imagine that. We're going to date it because that's what it says here. And we're going to put the amount for the note and the date. Okay, now notice what it says. Name of borrower, case number, amount of note or bond, date of note or bond, interest rate, expiration date. Well, who's the borrower? It is not you. The borrower is the bank. Okay, you are the lender. If you don't believe me, if you've ever gotten a copy of your, what's the name of that thing? The title company abstract page from your title, from your title insurance company. The abstract page shows you as the lender and the bank as the borrower. It says, you will receive under separate cover the United States Treasury check described above. This check should pay the above described insured loan in full with interest due you to the date of the Treasury check. If your records agree, please complete and execute Section 2 of the original of this form when you receive the payment and send it, together with the promissory note or bond, to our county supervisor at the address shown in the lower portion of this form. We suggest documents be returned to the county supervisor by certified mail. If your records do not agree, please write the above address. The extra copy of this form is for your files. Now, what address are they talking about? Do you see an address? Forward promissory note or bond to right here. To you. Now we're going to ask you to go online, look for the instructions on how to fill out Form RD 451-20. Notice and acknowledgement of final payment. Now, some of you are going to figure out some clever ways of doing this. However, if I find that any of you are charging people for the information and the research that I'm providing you here, I promise you I will provide them all the details in writing, letting people, everyone know exactly how to go about discharging their debt. We're going to send this voucher or the 1040V. Let's do that. Let's type in 1040V, 1040V. The IRS form, 1040V PDF, IRS form. People were asking a question. They said, this is a voucher. The lady in the telephone call to the IRS, the video that's labeled phone call to the IRS on YouTube, they said that she did not explain to the guy how to A for V. So pay attention. This is called a payment voucher. A voucher is evidence of payment. So it shows that it's already been paid. This is a money order. You don't have to get a PDF converter and rename this money order. You don't have to do that. You can leave it as payment voucher. This is proof that the debt has been paid. That's why attach this voucher to your payment or return. Well, this voucher is going to be attached to your payment because your payment amount is going to be here. And so now you're attaching them together. You don't believe me? Why not try it? What have you got to lose? She told him exactly how to discharge his debt by using this form. Now, some of you are going to say, well, 1040 is already on the form. No, 1040 is not on this form. This is not 1040. This is 1040V. So I would suggest you write 1040V here. Now, follow the instructions. Some of you are not going to want to. How to prepare your payment. Make your check or money order, before we read the rest, this is your check. This is your money order. This is your voucher. This is your bill of exchange. So you make that payable to the United States Treasury. Of course you're not going to send cash. You don't have access to cash. Okay? This is payable to the United States Treasury. Oh, and look at that. It gives you some wonderful addresses that you can send it to. And all of them are the Internal Revenue Service. Because it's an Internal Revenue form. See? Department of the Treasury, Internal Revenue Service. You fill out this voucher, the 1040V, you make out the amount, and you make it payable to the United States Treasury. Now let me show you how clever they were when they put this together. Do you see any place on here to make payable to the United States Treasury? Of course not. That's why at the top of your voucher, you're going to write it here. Payable to the United States Treasury without recourse. Simple, ain't it? That's all she's asking him to do. And she told him to write on this form 1040. Go back and listen to the video and then look at this paper at the same time and see she gave him remedy. It wasn't as clear as some of you want it because it's not designed to be that clear. Alright, well, here we go again. It's only 32 minutes. I want to thank all of you for visiting us here at the Legal Redress Commission, at the Legal Redress Commission at redressright.org, redressright.com. We're at Skype at redress.right, and we're at YouTube at youtube.com/user/redressright. And we ask that all of you have a very good day, and I hope this gives each and every one of you a clear understanding of who we are and what we're here to do. Good night.
Hi, this is Robert Masterson. I just wanted to let all of you know.
Redress.
Wait, you want to